This meeting of the Franklin Township Board of Trustees for June 13th, 2024, 12, actually it's 12:01. And to order, and I would ask Mr. Fleshman if he would open us with prayer.
Sure. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and the opportunities that we have to come to a meeting like this and to be able to do the work of the residents. We ask that you be with us today, be with those that couldn't make it today or that are ill, and we ask that you be in the midst of our meeting. Amen.
Jan, will you lead us in the pledge?
Yes. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Robin, please give us a roll call.
Yes. James?
Yes.
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Thank you.
We got that. Old business, it looks like, National Night Out. Do we have any updates on that? Or anybody want to have a discussion today on National Night Out?
I would like to, because Mr. Horn reached out to me.
Okay.
He was planning on being here today, and he was not able to, had a little mishap yesterday, and he couldn't make it. He most importantly wants to make sure that we're not going to forget the Juanita Kaufman Award.
Nope, that's on my mind. I believe, I can't speak for John. But I believe
And
it.
he wants to say that he thinks National Night Out has been a long-standing tradition, and he would love to see it to continue.
Okay, yeah.
That-
I know, I agree with
He's a
him.
resident now, and he reached out to me, so I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
And
I agree with him, and I agree with, with the fact it's been long-standing, and that's not saying they're not gonna have it down there. I guess our discussion is if we want to, and as in the past, put proceeds towards that, or if we should do move proceeds towards other community outreach and community engagement.
my personal thoughts on it are, I feel like we should be involved, but to what extent we're going to be involved.
Right.
You can be involved a lot, you can be involved a little, and it seemed to me, I came in late on National Night Out, but it seemed like in the earlier days, the township was much more involved and sort of ran the event, and it has moved on and grown bigger and maybe has outgrown us as being the people that sponsor it or are in charge of it, and I may be probably representing it, but I think with it being here in our backyard, we should definitely have a presence there.
Oh, I agree, we should have a presence there, but
Chief?
to what expense? I mean, usually it takes, Jim, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Stevens, Road Department, you guys it costs us comp time for your guys to be there on overtime, correct? In the evenings?
If we end up staying there,
Yeah,
for the
because they
evening,
usually
yeah.
have have you guys
We
bring the
take all of
trucks
our
down.
equipment down there.
Yeah, and then you have all day getting that ready, so that's 8 hours plus overtime, that,
And we run around and help get things set up.
yeah, okay. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Okay.
Is telling back that type of stuff, and,
Did you, when I called your name before it went to that part of it, did you have anything you wanted to say as your part as the police department and
Yeah.
with all the other agencies comings and things like that, sir?
Yeah, I mean, it is the biggest event probably in the county. It is in the township, so we are usually pretty well represented. I think it makes us look good to be there since it's right in the heart of the township. But the police department spends minimal overtime depending on our staffing. It could be 1 or 2 officers for 3 hours
Okay,
is about what our cost is.
so Jim, to your point, when the men, we occur overtime or comp time or whatever for your men, you guys also did the cooking and things like that, correct?
Yeah.
So if we was to not do the food part of it, how much time would you have invested down there then?
It all depends, usually we take down a couple trucks and some of our equipment, and it takes everybody to drive something down there.
Okay.
We'll
we'll do whatever.
No, no, and it wasn't, I'm just, this is for sake of discussion, so we can figure out where we're at on doing it and what it's costing, the taxpayers and things like that.
Usually-
Bang for the buck is what I'm trying to get
Usually in the
to.
past, there's some running that they ask us to do, you know, like we've been with the ice and stuff like that.
Sure,
Um, I end up cooking, I do a lot
Right.
of the cooking.
right.
The guys are there, the kids always have a ball, you know, with the equipment.
I guess we get a hold of whoever's in charge and say, at some point in time, they would probably like to know if we're gonna take a stance back on the cooking part. Maybe someone else picks up the cooking part, another entity or something, and then our cost to the township wouldn't be quite as much. I'm not saying do that,
No,
we're just talking here, so
Yeah, yeah.
that's all I got, so.
So
John, you
one
have
of-
anything on it?
Yes, I do. One of the most important things, people always hear us talk about Juanita Kaufman. I think everyone in this room may know. Pictures are up there from 6 years ago or et cetera. So if anyone that knows someone in the township that has what you feel they went above and beyond, if somebody that has worked in the community that, you know, they not necessarily want to be recommended or patted on the back or et cetera, jot something down in a letter and turn it in up here. The Board of Trustees will then go through and judge which one will vote on who's gonna be the recipient of this year's Juanita Kaufman Award. They will be giving that award at the National Night Out at some point.
Right. Would you wanna put a deadline on that of what, July 11th?
So that we have plenty of time, that would
Yeah.
be good,
Yeah.
so if anyone, and we'll mention this in the next meeting and et cetera. So basically, if you could, just put a summary of why you think this person should be, considered for the Juanita Kaufman Award. Just, you know, handwrite it, type it, put it in a letter and turn it in at the, front office there. The board will get that. We will do it here in front of everyone and we will, pick a person to say this is gonna be the recipient this year.
I believe we have something in place.
Do we
like
have
that.
a form?
Can I ask, Robin,
Yeah,
please?
sure.
Robin, do we not have a form or something like
It
that?
just has to be updated, cause there really hadn't been any direction from the board on
Sure.
what we were doing, so the form just has to be updated. It can be uploaded onto our website, it can be available here for pickup, it could be put on Facebook, whatever.
Okay.
Whatever
Or
the-
if they wanna do it, if some, you know, if we have
Like-
residents that don't like how to even know how to turn on a computer.
Well, if there are
There'll be one
specific
here.
questions that they have to answer, that's
Okay.
part of what the board established years ago.
Mhm.
And so if they can answer those questions on a separate sheet of paper, then I think that that's
Oh, yeah.
fair. you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think to treat everyone equally, they should be following the
Yeah.
questions.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, there's questions on the form, which then can be put onto a piece of paper, if you need to
So
do
if we
that.
could make sure that that's on our website, that, for the Juanita Kaufman Award, people can easily download a PDF or sit there and read it and write it out on paper, which is ever easier for them. 'Cause
Do you
sometimes
have a
it can be
submission deadline? I'm sorry.
challenging for some of
Yeah,
our residents.
Okay, my apologies.
You did say July the 11th, correct?
I threw that gate out.
Oh, okay, someone said it, so I was just repeating, she wanted to know a deadline.
That gives us time to get the award and gives them time to
So you wanna make that into a motion, so it's a
go right
set.
ahead, yeah. You
So-
brought it up. Yeah.
And we said that date was gonna be July what?
11th.
So be it resolved by the Board of Trustees, Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, that for the National Night Out this year, the Juanita Kaufman Award will go on as, it does every year. To turn in a submission, you can go to our Facebook page, print off a application, write it out by hand, fill out the questions, turn it into the office here no later than July 11th at 5 p.m. If there's no further question on it,
I do have one question,
Yes.
I'm sorry.
that's okay.
We have always given the award at the
National
National
Night,
Night Out,
yes.
so are we going to continue to give the award at National Night Out?
Yes.
Correct,
Okay,
yes.
I just want to get that verified.
Yes, and this, and so be it with the remarks in this as well. And if there's no further questions, I would ask for a second.
I will second that. Ma'am, when you're ready, give us a roll call.
James,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
thank you.
I guess the bigger question of National Night Out is we probably should meet with the organizers of that, whoever's organizing that now. Chief, do you know who's organizing the National Night Out now?
Pastor Womack.
Alright, we'll reach out to him to figure out what we're gonna go from there. Moving on to the next item, update on Schaefer's property. I see Mr. Woods here. I'm assuming he would like to speak. I will give him, a few minutes.
I'll start out with, we are in the process of, getting a building permit for, a new roof put on over there. And, so I'm about to leave on vacation, so I'm, to be honest with you, I'm not gonna look at it for 2 weeks. I need some time off. But when I get back, that'll be at the top of my agenda. I've ordered some signage for down there, and that will probably come Saturday or Monday. And put that up. Put something crafty up there, you know, ashes to beer or something like that. Rebuilding on the other side. And, I've reached out to the fire department and I'm still waiting to hear back from them. I'll also talked to Dwayne, the police chief, and,
Who? Dwayne?
Byron, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I just
I thought we had to do
I just hired you another employee,
Yeah, that's really
more
fine.
safety.
That's all right.
I apologize, I'm sorry.
I was paying attention.
I just met him, so anyways, but we're going over there on a regular basis. We have 4 people who stop in every time they drive by. And we met with one of the police officers there, and he got rid of somebody, and so that's happening on a regular basis. We have made 3 rounds of putting up boards and stuff like that, and they keep tearing stuff off of it, but we keep going back around. I was told one of the window ones had been torn off, so that'll probably get done this weekend, put back up.
Have you thought about a security fence? I mean, a construction fence? I mean, I personally brought that up at the first meeting to help secure the property.
I actually, I don't remember that, but I actually looked into it, and the cost of fences is outrageous. So, you know, the old, economics, theory, guns or butter. You know, which are you gonna buy? Are we gonna buy materials to fix a place or fences? Yeah, and that's exactly what they do. They tore them down. There was a little perimeter fence out there, and they tore it completely out. And so, you know, we get the roof on there. I think the police will be able to better charge them with breaking and entry after that. That's what the other gentleman told me, and you know, I'm not an expert in that, but if the premises are tightened up better.
Yeah, once it's completely secure, and then it's a charge to it.
Okay, and we have been, you know, we've paid 3 people, and whatever it is, the professionals who do it for a living did a horrible job. You know, you kind of, any small woman could put her shoulder into it and take it out. So, you know, over $5,500 has been expended to that end, and continues to be done on it.
So one of the questions that I have, and I don't wanna interrupt you, I didn't know if you had more.
I do have more, but.
Okay,
back and
so
forth.
a couple concerns. One, the game, graffiti on the front where someone spray painted whatever their game signs are. Can we, you know,
One of the things that I want to do, okay, so let me tell you what I'm thinking.
can of spray paint?
I hear you. Okay, so, but here's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get the roof removed. okay, get that fixed. I wanna get the facade, that kind of, that 4 foot, we'll call it wall, slanty thing that goes around it. There was a burnout section, and then the fire department punched out a couple holes. I don't know why that is.
Smoking to get the.
Yeah, for what, they
Safety.
know what their business is,
Right.
but we've gotta renew it. So I wanna get the roof on, get that renewed, get that painted a bright.
Why can't we get that? Here's my issue, couple issues. What I'm hearing from you is cost. And
Well,
I'm-
everything, that's life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
what did we just talk about? Cost.
Correct. But what I'm concerned about is, as you know, I'm one of the ones that was saying, let's just tear it down.
You're my negative guy.
Let's tear it down and be able to, you know, from there, if someone wants to build new, they would be, whatever you'd wanna do.
May I ask you a
No,
question to that?
No, I'm speaking. So, the issue that I'm seeing is this is in the township. We have graffiti written all over the building. We have people that are going in that can possibly be hurt or et cetera. This is the first meeting you've been to since the last time you were here to talk about this.
That's dirty.
You yourself said you would give us updates monthly. Let me finish.
I was
And
told
you
to be
did-
back
when
here
I
in 2
finish-
months, and I am here, sir.
When I'm finished, you'll be more
Correct.
happy to talk.
It's not correct.
So,
I would ask you to go back and check, when
watch the
John.
video.
Well, I
When
asked
John-
Mr. Mazer for a copy of it, so I can figure out. If I'm wrong, I apologize, but at the same time, we didn't receive any phone calls, and I have been in contact with the police department. And so it's a little bit disingenuous on the township's part to say that we haven't been in contact, because we have. Now, we may not have a conversation with the trustees, which if I'm in error on that, I marked it on my calendar to come back today.
We're not gonna call you to see where you're at with this. The agreement was you were gonna come monthly to the meeting, and then I changed my vote because I'm like, okay, we're gonna give this guy, what did we say, 6 months?
Yes.
So what happens in 6 months and you're not, and you put X amount of money in it and it's still not where it's at? Do we tear it down?
I guess you always have that option.
Absolutely.
But
Do you
we are
realize
trying
the
to get it.
timeline that you've got? I know you're going away for 2 weeks, and I don't mean to be tough on you.
Well,
But what
you're
I'm
not tough
getting-
on me, you know.
But what I'm getting
I'm
at is,
63 years old, I know what the hell I'm doing.
evidently not, sir. Because how long has that building been sitting like that? I mean, if you owned a
How long do
building,
you think it's been sitting?
if you owned a building next door to it and was running a business, hypothetically, you would be in here at every meeting going, can you do something about that building? The amount of stuff that's going in that area, and that eyesore sitting there, I don't apologize for me being sharp about this, because you're doing
And I
nothing
don't
to
mind,
it.
I don't mind it, but we are, okay? It just doesn't pop and, you know, clap on, clap off. It doesn't happen like that.
We
You have
gave
to-
you a timeline, so I'm holding you to that timeline.
Blessed be the timeline. You know, we're working on the timeline, we're aware of that. And if I made the mistake and I should have been here a month ago, I apologize to you, okay? I marked my calendar for today.
But we're not gonna call you and check on you. You're a big boy.
Okay,
You're
but-
61 years old. You
No,
can
I'm
go.
63.
63 years
Yeah.
old. You can establish your own schedule, but what I'm telling you is, it's been long enough that that's been sitting like that.
Okay, but let me clear up some of your misconceptions. You are lumping us in with the Ponderosa, okay? And we
No.
are not the Ponderosa. The
I-
fire
I
happened.
understand.
The fire happened due to no fault of ours.
We didn't say it was.
It was an error, you know, it was an act of God, something bad happened. I just asked him, and he's the guy. So, we came in here and we had just got the check in April, right before we came in here. The week before, we came in here on April the 12th, okay? And so we have been soliciting bids and getting this stuff. I'm ready to do
But you're a little too late.
I
We
don't think so.
we contacted you multiple times through the fire department. I don't know if you can speak on this.
I can.
You can.
Mr. Blizzard.
Multiple times chasing down with no, and we've had meetings on this. Anything new on this? Nope, it won't return calls. Nope, won't return calls. We pushed it to the point where we're saying, okay, then we're gonna tear it down. Under statute, we have the correct right to do that. We have been over backwards to be able to, if this was Upper Arlington, this wouldn't happen. If this was Hilliard, it would already been gone. We have been over backwards, and it's time either that thing goes or you actually start doing something. This is what we're hearing. Now I'm hearing we're getting bids, we're gonna start doing this, but I'm gonna go away for 2 weeks. If you're gonna get it done, get it done.
We are,
Nothing has been done, nothing.
We have already contacted 6 roofing companies to do this. And we will be making the selection on that. We're getting the, permit to do it. And I've come in to figure that out and fill it out. And, I would like to fill that out before I,
Well, just remember, you got a timeline, so.
well, I understand the timeline. I mean,
We're not gonna
I'm not
extend
an
it.
idiot. I'm an accountant. Everything in my
Okay.
life is a timeline.
Okay,
But I'm gonna write a declaration to this township of our commitment to cooperate with you guys, so it's on record. And I hope you guys will take it in the sincerity that it is. I spoke extensively on April 12th about our history with that property going back over 40 years and the meaning it is to this community. We have ties to this community. We are part of this community. We care about this community.
well,
And,
obviously, I disagree.
and I think you're disingenuous to say that we haven't been talking with you. And so you say that I'm wrong, I didn't come last month, I apologize for it. I will be here every month now, okay? And so we will be here, but things are moving forward. And so you interrupted me, so I'm gonna finish where I started at, and that is that we're going to start the roof. Then I wanna get the facade fixed, get it painted. I wanna seal coat the driveway, get lines put up. And before I do all that, the sign will be up when I get back. The letters have taken a little while to get.
And what time frame was your grand opening scheduled?
We don't have, we're not that far along. We haven't contracted that stuff yet.
So you have no idea when this is all gonna be
No.
Well,
completed?
it sounds to me like, John, he's planning the repairs of getting the building into a shell to find a.
Yeah,
suitable-
so it's not a
Burnout shell.
burnout shell, yeah.
Eyesore.
That's right. And I'm gonna, put lipstick on the pig, if you would, and get it cleaned up. That's my goal. That's what I heard when I was in here, is that to get police department to start arresting these people that keep doing this to the building, I know what I have to do. I have to get it so it's not condemned anymore.
So what I'm hearing, was you done, I'm sorry?
Yes, sir.
So what I'm hearing is, by the time next month comes and you come back here, July 11th, you're gonna have a contracted roofer, a sign's gonna be up,
Yes, sir.
and there'll be no way into the building.
That's correct. We keep fixing that we've done it 3 times. And so it's been 9 months now, but we didn't get a check until 2 months ago. And
I
I'm not a
realize,
jack in the box. You can wind me up, dun, 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 dun,
I
and pop it
realize
out.
that, but there's things that you can do, like the graffiti on the outside.
And that's one I forgot, cause you guys got me,
Okay.
super excited. But be excited with me, okay? Let's walk hands in hands, okay? One of the things that I wanna do, because it's a low cost thing, all the wooden boards, I can paint those up in a day. And so I'll get those done up, and if there's some graffiti on them, which I don't remember seeing that 3 weeks ago, but Susan and I and the police officer were having our hands full with people there.
It is a problem with homeless people.
And we're trying, we want that solved, and like I said, we got 4 people who, anytime they drive down Georgesville Road, pull in, park, 911, ready to go, and if there's somebody there, we ask for help. It's on the record. And, you know, I pledged my, help, to the police chief, and, you know, I'm trying to get Todd involved in it, and I'm asking you guys to help us, you know? You know, it takes all of us to do it. I can't do it by myself. And I'm gonna tell you, honestly, when Mr. Mazur filed that report to the state of Ohio, Insurance Board, it kicked our ass. So you guys got us off track, what we did, because of money. Well, it's real. So you guys wanna hold your hands out for the money, and I'm not saying it's the wrong thing. I'm not even saying it's the wrong thing, because I understand the greater good of the community too, and the reason for it. But that was a left field thing for us. You gotta understand that, and we'll overcome it.
The reason we filed that is because you would not communicate with us.
That's so disingenuous. We were in here on April 13th, and you keep saying it, this is the 5th time you said it in the 2 times I've seen you.
Absolutely.
And so you don't want it, and you're entitled to your opinion. But to say it and misrepresent what the reality is, we were in here on April 13th.
Yes, you
I
was.
can go back and put a timeline together of all the county people that we've talked to. I talked to 4 or 5 firefighters, about 3 different police officers. I talked to a young lady, she's about 110 pounds, and she's thin and small. I've talked to her. I've talked a couple times to Mr. Mazur. I am trying to pull together a group of people so we can get this done, because we can get it done. I see the end of it, but I can't, if you're kicking me in the butt at every time I go, and then I have to jump higher hurdles. I'm 63, man. I can't do the low hurdles hardly. I need, you know, you wanna make me jump the high hurdles and put you guys taking insurance money away from the project. And you know, I don't even understand it all. I asked Mr. Mazur, and he doesn't understand it all, okay? But, you know, my guesstimate is that money is like an escrow account,
Absolutely.
okay? So you guys hold it somehow.
Correct.
You know, I don't know what the procedures are to get it back once you get it in your hot little hands, but we need the money to do work, you know? So then we have to go find the money a second time that we've already got funded, okay? And so and that's screwing up the business deal and delayed our closing, okay? So, you know, you're saying I'm not doing anything, I'm taking a vacation. Well, I deserve a vacation, you deserve a vacation, and this has been planned for 4 months, but I'm still working. I've got my phone, I'll be talking to people, you know? Things will still happen. I never don't work. I work 7 days a week, sir, okay? And have my whole adult life since I was 14 years old. I'm a hard worker. I get things done. I keep schedules. And I'd like you to come over and walk in our shoes a little bit. You know, they tore you. You know, you got an armpit there at Westland. Let us rebuild ours. The community wants it. There's not one person in the community that said to me to tear it down, except you, sir.
Right.
Okay, and I want you to come over with us and join us and see the light.
Here's the thing, if I may, or if you're finished.
I'll never be finished, but go ahead.
The first thing, when I'm talking and you're saying I'm disingenuous, that I'm getting the dates and stuff wrong, I am talking from day one from the fire, when we were trying to reach out. And if, I can't speak as much on it as if Todd was here, Mr. Breaker, because he could sit here and be able to set the record, so we won't go there on that. So you're talking about, I'm not saying anything about April's meeting whatsoever. Yes, you were here at April's meeting.
Yeah.
prior to that, there was no communications that we could get as a board on this, the first time you've ever came in. Second thing, the process is set in place for situations such as this, where the money goes into an escrow.
I understand it.
So if someone doesn't correct a condemned building, it's condemned, not by us, it's condemned.
Who is the condemner?
Well, it would be by the building association with Tools and Associates that went and actually viewed it and went through it.
My
He is
understanding
who-
that he has not done that, you know, I'm wrong, Mr. Mazur.
We already have a report from Captain Breaker. In his opinion, it's a nuisance property and it's an unsafe structure.
Okay,
What I'm waiting for now, and I talked to Bill Poole yesterday, Bill is going over as quickly as possible and inspect the building and give me a report as well.
okay.
So we have both those reports in hand here in the near future.
When will, Mr. Toole and Associates have a report?
I can't.
Undetermined time.
I think.
So my point being is, no, let me finish. I sat here quiet and let you
All right.
rattle. The point being is, we're just chatter back and forth. Sun rises, sunset, sunrise, sunset, and it still looks the same. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
Okay, James, you got something to say?
Yeah, there's no way it was April 13th. It was impossible.
April, did I say it wrong? April 12th. It was the mid-April meeting.
It would have been either the 4th or the 18th.
It would have been the 18th.
Yeah.
I mismarked that. I took a note, so I got it wrong.
Cause I can guarantee you, we did not have a township meeting on a
Yes,
Saturday.
I can confirm it as the 18th. I've got it, I've got a note here saying.
Yeah, go right ahead.
I
Okay.
apologize.
So I wanna speak to you.
Yes, sir.
I think it's disingenuous for you to say that, to get our hot little hands on the money. I don't appreciate that. I never spoke to you that way. Please don't do that to me.
I apologize for that.
Cause I've done nothing but treat you with respect.
You guys are
and
good men.
everything.
I'm not
I wanna
condemning
mention
anybody.
something else to you. Do you realize that we've received a email from one of your investors that you brought in here saying that to tear it down was the way to go?
I would.
Are you aware of that?
No, tell me who.
What's his
I
name?
don't remember. I
Is it
shared
Spencer?
I'd have to go back and try to find
Okay,
it.
well, we can get that for you. So, when you didn't come back in, our understanding was once a month. And when you didn't come back in, we had an email that one of your investors sent to John. John was happy enough to share it with the other two. And so then it got sort of lost along the way. I was the one that wanted to give every opportunity throughout the 6 months. I didn't do it because you're a good salesman. I don't know
I'm
you.
not a
I
salesman.
did
I'm
it,
an accountant.
but you're a salesman. I didn't do it because of that. I did it because I have strong feelings for small businesses in Franklin Township, and I believe in Franklin Township, and we need small businesses, and I wanted to give you the opportunity. I myself have gone over, and people have come out of that building while I'm in the parking lot. Also, around back is the trash and everything. There's still things that need to be hauled away from there.
Yeah, when I've gone over there, I filled the back of my buggy up
Okay.
and taken it with me, and I'll continue to do that.
Okay, because that needs to be done.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so for me,
It will be done before the next meeting.
I just need to let you know that I was ready to change because my vote and everything, because I have had people in the community come up to me and say, you made a mistake there. And I live in that area and it's not a good look and we want something done with it. And I explained to them why I did what I did. I want you to please meet the benchmarks that we've given you. And if you're not gonna do it, I give you my card. If you don't have one, take one today. Reach out to me personally. I'll reach out to these two gentlemen. Now, you've been extended the opportunity to reach out to me personally today.
Yes, sir.
There's no more chance for
And
miscommunication.
2 months ago as well.
Okay, so we're going, for me, I'm willing to move forward, but you have to meet these benchmarks. And I would like on the 11th, if you're going to have a person, July the 11th, I looked over there again.
Yeah,
So,
July 11th.
and you're gonna have someone do a roof and everything, you're obviously gonna have a plan in place. You wouldn't put a roof on something if you weren't going to continue. And you should be able to come back with a better timeline. You understand what I'm saying? So, I'm not trying to, I don't come at people normally this way, but that wording about hot little hands on the money, don't do that to me.
Well, I
Because
wasn't,
I don't
it
deal with
wasn't
any of
meant
that.
as a slam, it wasn't,
Okay.
because I did say that I understood it to be like an escrow.
Because I tried to talk about that money the day your family and all of you people were here, and I was told that it wasn't, because I'm a new trustee, you're not the only person that this has happened to. We have gotten money, that, we didn't put this into place.
I get it. Well, it's for the community protection.
That's exactly
And
right.
I support that.
And that's why
I
I'm
support
sitting
it.
here, to make the best decisions for the people of this township.
Yes.
Okay,
So
so,
I want it to be a community improvement, and I want to be a solution and not a.
yeah, well,
And just to remind you, sir, July 11th will be the 3-month mark, you're halfway through. And we have seen, this board has seen 0 improvements. Thank you, sir.
Appreciate you guys.
enjoy your vacation. I agree, everybody deserves that.
Yeah, yes, I do, I need one bad. More business, community garden,
That would be me, sir.
okay.
So the community garden last time, I just wanted to report that I met with the young lady and everything, and, I went out there and, took a look at it, and it's just a plot. And so when I spoke to the young lady, I felt they were in need of some raised beds. So my grandson and I built a raised bed and some wood that I had around the house, and we delivered it out there a week ago Thursday. And the young lady, again, someone reached out to me, and she has some issues, and so I'm presenting to you that the garden is on hold right now. I think we're running up, I haven't had another conversation with her. There's a growing season involved here, so how long things can go. So I spoke to Mr. Stevens, and yesterday, I believe it was, and they're going to continue to mow, so it'll be all taken care of, and I will continue to keep you fellows up to, snuff on how the community garden going, but as of now, there's nothing to report.
Thank you.
Any questions? Okay, perfect.
I guess moving on to you again,
Yes, sir.
employee appreciation.
Yes. So everybody knows that I've only been in office since January, and I really enjoyed working here. I'm not gonna go through this whole thing, most of you know about it. That I got someone that donated some baseball tickets for our Touch a Truck, that went around, and we gave those away, and it went over really well, and my friend that had the tickets said, I really liked what you did with them, so I'm gonna give you another set of 4, and I decided to do an employee appreciation for the people that work here in the township. We have 64 employees. Now, I didn't use the, elected officials, so it's really 60. And we had 39 employees that turned in a card that would like to be in the drawing, and Chief Smith, if you would, the box is right there on the table.
Okay.
Would you mind if Mary, would you do me a favor and reach in that box and stir your hand around and pull a lucky employee from the township out, and we'll announce the winner. Just stir your hand around in there, Mary, and get a lucky winner. Give it to the chief, and chief, if you don't mind, reading that or bringing it up to Miss Robin, and she can read it, whatever you prefer, sir.
I don't mind at all.
All right, here we go.
Welch, Nathan Welch.
All right, so he's a police officer. I knew that, so congratulations, Nelson. I have the things here, and I'll get with you
Okay.
at the end of the meeting. We'll get them to Mr. Welch, and so it's tickets to the baseball, parking, Sky Pass, and $50 gift card.
Okay.
Wow.
He's
And
been
so-
on what, about
Pretty good.
about 9
So,
months
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope everybody, I appreciate everybody's
Good memory,
getting
huh?
involved, and I just wanna say to you, I've enjoyed working with everybody so far, and let's continue another 3.5 years, and that's enough on that,
All
so.
right, moving on, Franklin County Sheriff's Office report. Do we have a representative or anyone that wants to speak on the behalf of Franklin?
Yeah, but I don't do reports.
Oh, okay.
Okay, all right, moving on from that,
Just to clarify, the community liaison is the one that does the report.
Yeah.
I'm just a Hispanic Latino liaison.
I didn't know if you had anything you wanted to give us or not.
Not at the moment, but thank
Okay,
you.
just wanted to make sure knew you
I
was welcome to
appreciate it.
speak. Moving on, Patty Spencer is not here. Candy Frisco from Oak Street Health,
Yes,
the podium is yours, ma'am.
thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Candy Francisco. I am the Community Relationship Manager for Oak Street Health. Has everybody heard of Oak Street Health? Yes, no, maybe? Nobody? Okay. Well, that's why I'm here to tell you about it. So we're really excited. We're a new primary care doctor's office that's coming to the neighborhood. So you might have seen the sign go up in the old CVS building on the corner of Harrisburg Pike and Eakin. So we actually are owned by CVS. We're new to Columbus. We're not a new company, but we're new to Columbus. We've been around for 12 years. We were purchased by CVS last year, and ever since CVS purchased Oak Street Health, their idea is we need to add more locations throughout communities all throughout the United States. To explain to you a little bit more about Oak Street Health and what's a little bit different about us is that we are a value-based primary care doctor's office. That meaning we actually get paid upfront by the insurance companies. So the benefit of that is, let's say you had Aetna as your insurance carrier, and you cost Aetna $100,000 last year because you were going to the ER all the time because you couldn't get doctor's appointments, and you cost them a lot of money. I know personally, I've been to doctor's visits and it's like a 10-minute visit, right? Like you're in and out. So with Oak Street Health, we actually cap our practitioners at how many patients they have on their panel. So that means that they're able to spend more time with the patients. They get a 40-minute doctor's visit. We also work with the VA. So if you're a veteran, you're able to have Oak Street Health as your primary physician, and then also still go to the VA. The other thing with us, like I said, with the value base, we get paid ahead of time. So let's say, like I said, you cost your insurance company $100,000. We'll come to them and say, you know what, we can treat them for $75,000 because that's less than what they paid last year for you. So they pay us $75,000 ahead of time, and our goal is to keep you out of the doctor's office, out of the ER. So we say we're interested in healthcare, not sick care. Okay, so let's say we wind up treating you for $50,000 that year. We have $25,000 left over that your insurance company gave us. We're actually able to take that money and funnel it back into the community, doing different community events. So part of my job as a community relationship manager is I partner with a lot of organizations throughout the community because we feel like your healthcare is not just about going to the doctors and taking pills, but being healthy is also being in a healthy environment. And so our goal is to help make the communities around Oak Street Health healthy. So we provide a lot of resources that are free, even if you're not an Oak Street Health patient. Our facility will actually have a community room in it, and I will have anywhere between 2 to 4 events scheduled every week inside of that community room. And when I say events, it could be anything from, we're going to have bingo, we're going to have free blood pressure screenings, we're going to have lunch and learns, line dancing, tech classes, all types of different things. And I'm also open to suggestions if anybody is thinking of anything that we might want to host over there. We're also a warming and cooling center. So again, you do not have to be an Oak Street Health patient to participate in any of the activities that we have going on inside of our community room. But like I said, we're also in the community as well. So we're at a lot of senior buildings, we're at food pantries, we're with churches, at a lot of events, festivals. We'll be, for example, at Ohio State Fair on Senior Day. We'll have a tent there. We're sponsoring a lot of different things throughout the community. And that's, I think, kind of the major gist of it. We do specialize in healthcare for adults that are on Medicare, so you would have to be on Medicare to be a patient at Oak Street Health. And now that you've met me, you're probably going to start seeing the commercials all over the place. But I'm going to leave a flyer. We're opening July 15th, so that's our official opening. And next week, we're actually just moving into the office over there, so, all of our team, and we have a team of about 5 people on outreach. We will be, I think, Tuesday, the outreach team said they wanted to just like do a little barbecue, so if anybody is interested, if you're curious what it looks like, inside of there, you can pop by and, you know, grab a hot dog and come on in and take a look, and then, like I said, our official grand opening will be, July 15th. And then I will be inviting community leaders out, on a more formal level to actually come take a look, and we'll have a little open house for everybody. Does anybody have any questions?
I will open the floor at this time for a few questions.
Since I represent the Hispanic Latino community, will you have interpreters for people who don't have English language skills?
We do, yep, we sure do. So, yeah, one thing I didn't mention, on site, we actually have, we have social workers that work with our patients as well. So again, you know, healthcare is not just taking pills, but the social workers will ask people, you know, what resources or what type of things do you need? Maybe somebody has food insecurity, or maybe somebody needs help with, you know, rental assistance or those type of things. So we're able to direct people, to those resources.
Any other questions?
Just out of curiosity, when you're talking of, you know, I'm trying to envision a 40-minute doctor visit, but lab, x-ray, things like that?
So we're able to do all of that. Generally, how the visit works is you meet with the patient manager, prior to your visit with the doctor. So you spend 20 minutes with them. They will go over with you, you know, everything that you want to discuss, you know, any issues that you feel you're having. If you have specialists that you're already working with, or if you want another one or need another one, we're able to make referrals as well. So they gather all that information, and then once you go into the doctor's visit, and it doesn't have to be 40 minutes if you don't, you know, if you don't need all 40 minutes, but you do have a 40-minute slot that's allotted. And then while you're having your visit, they actually have a scribe in the room so that the doctor is able to, you know, make eye contact with you, and the scribe is off to the side and they're typing in, you know, all of the information. Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention too, we do provide transportation, free transportation to and from the doctor's appointments, so you'll start seeing what they call the green limousines. We have these green vans, because Oak Street's colors are green. And then the other thing I did forget to mention as well is that we are an AARP partner, so we're actually the only doctor's office that has been given the gold seal from AARP.
I just had a quick question. What time, this coming Tuesday?
This coming Tuesday.
Who doesn't like a good hot dog?
Yeah,
I'll
they'll
come
be on the
down
parking lot,
and visit with you, and then I'll
Okay.
share back with my 2 trustees how it went and everything. So what time would you like me to come?
Let me look at my calendar. Can I
Okay.
get with you after this? So I can look at
Absolutely,
my
if you're gonna
calendar
stay the
and
whole
make
time,
sure?
and if not,
Yeah,
write it on a
yeah.
piece of paper, give it to me, and I'll come down and meet you on Tuesday, and then I can report back.
Okay.
How's that?
It sounds good. So
Okay.
I will have business cards. I'm going to stay until the end. So if anybody has any other questions, you know, feel free to contact me. And then, like I said, I'll leave a flyer too with the address.
And I'm gonna give you one of mine.
Okay, wonderful. Thank
Okay, how's that, guys? That was
Thank you.
I'll let you guys
Thank
know
you.
and everything. It's right close to me, and I'm not kinda interested in it.
I
So,
appreciate
That's
that.
why we're a team up here.
Yeah, I'm going to have an actual formal open house for you.
No, and I understood that, but I thought I'd just sneak in.
Yeah, come on,
I like a hot dog.
All right.
I have a dog next.
Byron, will you please save us from this? Come on
Sure.
down.
Like last meeting, this will be a little shorter for me. So our 2 speed trailers were on Ransburg and on Fisher Road. And I got Ransburg first, so I'll go over that. The average speed for Ransburg during that, we just pulled 7 days of stats because they're pretty identical. It's about 33 miles an hour is the average speed, which it is a 25-mile-an-hour zone and a dead-end street. So anything above that's you know, can definitely be dangerous, especially the way the road curves and, the
Cars
turnout
on
and
each
stuff.
side too.
High speed would be 45, based on the graph, out of 1,930 cars during that period, which is a lot for a dead-end street.
7 days.
I don't know if it's Mike or his neighbor that has all the visitors, or it could be the house down the street.
You ain't going to get a hot dog.
Yeah, I'm
That's a
having
lot
to
of
save us
cars.
from that.
So maybe 20 of those would fall into that 45 range. The bulk of them are around 26 miles an hour. So right on the speed limit, for the most part. So that one wasn't too bad. Fisher Road, as we all know, is a 4-lane raceway, and it's very difficult to find a place you can sit. You almost have to be moving radar for that. So the average speed is about 72 miles an hour.
Fisher
Road.
From what part of Fisher?
Between Wilson and,
Yeah,
Hay.
between Wilson and Hay.
Oh,
I
pretty
believe we were
Yeah,
going
very fast.
westbound, no, it was eastbound, going towards the freeway. So during that 7 days, you had 54,662 cars. So you have just a massive amount of traffic on that roadway, and that's just going one way.
So my question would be, that computed at timelines, because I know at night I hear the
Mhm.
Hellcats line
It's all
up.
the time.
So
Yeah.
is it more, speed show more at night when there's racing like from 12 to 2?
It's, believe it or not, you would think so maybe, but it's kinda in the middle. It's kinda in the middle, so that's gonna be a big project for us to try to work on Fisher Road. To back some of that up with tickets, which, I know our traffic cars are doing that already. High speeds, 60, out of 54,000, you got about 3,800 cars getting 69 miles an hour. Which out of 54,000 doesn't sound a lot, but that could be 3,800 potential accidents that could easily be fatal. You know, so.
That's 45 mile an hour then.
Yeah. Yeah, that's 45. So now we have, Freight Road going eastbound, and I believe El Paso. So what we're going to do now is 7 days, and then we're gonna flip to the other side. So we're gonna hit both sides, so we can see if the speeds are, you know, if it's measurably different going one way or the other. I think Frank Road's gonna be kind of the same. It's another big 4-lane raceway. If we could get our speed cameras back.
Yeah, just sit there, ooh, got lucky, and then they get a ticket in the mail.
But unless you have questions, that's all I have.
Are we still using the original?
Signs? We
Yeah.
are. Great you brought that up. So the one that I have stationary on Hague Avenue, I was toying around with the idea of taking those to maybe selling them, to go to something else, since we have these two new trailers. But I think what I wanna do is take the stationary one and put it on Fisher Road. So nobody can say they're not warned, but I mean, it's not gonna affect the amount of tickets either way, cause obviously they're not paying attention to the sign.
I was just gonna let you know the one on Hay is, the battery's dead.
Is it out? Okay.
And Jim, we're gonna need to get Jim over there, if you're gonna leave it there, trim the tree.
Well, that's the other thing, is the trees going down there kind of affect the sign too. So I think we're gonna try Fisher and find a good stop sign or speed sign and put it on there so that it's more visible, and it's such a high traffic area, it'll come in handy.
Thank you, sir.
Well, questions?
We're good to go.
All right.
Chief Arnold is not here, I'm sorry.
I was gonna ask Byron something if I can.
I haven't opened the floor, but if you can make it a real quick question, I'll be lenient today.
Okay, I have a lot of medicine and pills, who's passed away, and I need to get rid of it
We'll take
because
it.
I'm selling my home. What is the criteria on
If
that?
you just bring them in here, we'll put them in the drug box,
I mean,
and then we destroy them.
a lot,
We'll take them all.
okay.
Needles.
Needles,
Also,
kind of stuff.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'm
I didn't mean to cut you off. No, one thing, I'm glad she did, because there's one thing. The homeless issue.
Mhm.
It is all over the township, and I know you guys are working on it. Can you please, upstep it when, let you guys know, Rodlawn is horrible again. It is absolutely horrible again.
Yes,
And
we will.
I know it's an uphill battle, I realize that, but I just wanted to get it out there to you.
Constantly taking it, that's one of the hot spots, especially for Roger.
Yeah,
Takes
I've seen him
somebody
out
to
there
jail every
several times.
shift. At least one, problem is they get released and they come
And-
right back. So it's a constant thing.
it's a constant,
not
it's a
a-
revolving
it's not a
door,
fix.
but hopefully, if like they see us out there, they'll get sick and tired of seeing us, and I hate to say it, they'll move on. And it,
Same thing with the median.
yeah,
That's
that's
biggest
just-
pet peeve for me, I hate them they sit right in the median at Broad and Wilson.
Coolidge, and then what's the next road over we spoke?
Florence.
Volnage.
Coolidge, and then the next road over, Byron, what is it?
That's Florence.
Florence.
Okay, that alleyway between those two,
Mhm.
from the corner where, Mr. and Mrs. Cheney lived, the road up.
Yes.
If
And
you
that-
turn down that alley,
Mhm.
it's like you have a brand new home right there. I
Mhm.
don't care if I'm calling, there's a problem with homeless for 4 homes in a row. And I tried to go down that alleyway the other day, and there ended up being an air conditioning unit, or what seemed to be an air conditioning unit to me, in the middle of the alley, and I couldn't go. Plus, it's very tight down through there. And I reached out to Jim, and he had it removed or taken care of. But they're telling me, like, their packages are missing off their porches, and if you wanna find out, you go down there and you can find the boxes that had your stuff in it.
And those 4 houses.
Yes.
Of those-
So is there someone can take it would be not the Coolidge side, the other
Florence
side of the
side.
alley, yes, sir.
Okay.
Remember the houses that we had at the other end, at the east side? I think you and I seen them one day and tried to use, I was out together, we tried to run them out there too that day. I think what happened is they've moved from there down to here.
Okay.
The alley dead ends into the back of the hotel. So that
Okay.
should help you.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm happy to go over there and meet you there, or go with you, or whatever, or anything I can do, but I almost forgot about that.
Yeah, thank you for your question, because now.
Are those the 4 you talked about, where the residents are letting them live in the yard?
Yeah, that's the ones that I spoke to you about. Well, whether it's, so one
Well,
was
what-
represented to me that a person had passed away, and it's in, taxes are due on it, so the family can't do anything with it, so they're just basically letting,
Spoiling.
yep. So,
Okay. All right,
Yeah,
we'll deal with it.
reach out to me if you need anything. Thank you, sir. That's all I got, sir.
Moving on, fire department, Chief Arnold is not here, but I see he has a bright-eyed, bushy-tailed young man that wants to speak.
Maybe not.
I can talk a lot, trust me. I'm gonna make it short.
Well, you'll be limited.
Basically, Chief took a few days off, so he asked me to speak on his behalf today. It's not a lot, basically just giving some of the run totals for, March. We were up, 4% from last month. We took, 959 runs last month, 19 reported fires. Station 192 at Georgesville and Sullivan, 488 runs. This station here, 471 runs. Out of those 959, there was 681 EMS calls. We had 6 cardiac arrests. But we did not have any ROSC, which is like where we get them back. Our numbers were a little bit down from last month. I mean, we're up in numbers, but our cardiac arrests were down. So, but other than that, I really don't have anything else for the fire department unless you have any questions.
You have anything?
I have nothing.
I have nothing. Thank you, sir.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming. Good to see you.
Thanks, Jason.
Jason, you'll be around today.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Moving on, road department, Mr. Stevens, the floor is yours.
What's the whole?
Well, on the agenda, they've got us down for a road department building update. We were finally able to get one of our last, quotes we were looking at for the electrical side. And I have put together a whole presentation and given it to Mr. Mazur and if there's anything you wanted to speak about on that, or how you want me to approach it.
The only thing where we are now is, I'm in the process of formulating what's called a request for proposal, RFP. What we need to do with Mr. Stevens is, I need it buttoned up now. I need to know location, size, amenities. So when I put this RFP together, when we send it out to contractors, they're all looking at the same thing, and they all know exactly what we're looking for in this new service building. So, I know we've looked at Sullivan, there's been discussion here, but what I need is an absolute decision, because we're getting close, because this will be anywhere from a 60 to 90-day process. What are we doing? You know, what does the board wanna do?
It'd be nice to be able to sit down and have a meeting to where we can hash everything out, and then, because over the last few months or so, last year, we come up with something and there's a change and we're not sure which direction to go.
Yes,
But I agree
yes,
with Mr. Mazur, we need to sit down and say, okay, this building, this location, this is what we need to do, because we kinda just keep spinning our wheels.
We're on, what, the 13th?
I can say, that on the 27th of June, I would like to set up an exec before the next, trustee meeting. To update the board on some, well, a phone call that the chief and I had this morning. So we could do something then. We can do it before, we could set a special meeting up and include the exec in the special meeting.
Let's do, what day,
If you were gonna do it, are you saying do this,
do
on
a
the
special
11th?
meeting?
Then we're just getting.
No, doing a
early.
special meeting on like maybe next week on the 20th.
Is that what you're saying, sir? Yeah.
I'm just throwing options.
I
Yes,
just, I
sir.
don't know,
On the 20th?
of next week, yeah.
Okay, because this wouldn't, is
That'd
it
be
just?
on
No, it'll be a special
Thursday.
meeting.
Yeah, it's not exec, it's just a special
You would
meeting.
have a
There'll be an
special,
exec and a
and then
special.
Okay.
We would have an exec too, Mike.
On the 20th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chief, you all right with that?
Have we picked a time?
20th?
You wanna do-
Tentatively, she has surgery on Wednesday the 19th, so,
And it's probably, if you can't, it was probably something I could,
yeah, I mean,
and LT could sit in as well?
yeah.
Okay.
See, on the 20th.
Yeah. Let's
10
do
a.m.?
9.
It's 10 a.m.,
I'd say 9, let's get it over.
9 a.m.?
9 a.m.
What?
You bringing coffee?
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else?
Yeah, the only thing thing that I have is some stats from May. Let's see here. In the month of May, we took 32 loads of brush, picked up 21 illegally dumped tires. We repaired the signage that was knocked down in Glorious and Deer, signage repaired throughout the township. Mowed all the township right of ways again, mowed the cemetery twice, and put up flags for Memorial Day. We started our boom mowing through all the alleys. We're down here in the triangle now, we're working our way north. Mr. Mazur was able to get us some illegal dumping signs. We installed four new illegal dumping signs in some of our problem areas. Down Reaver Lane, we had a situation at the end of the road, cars driving through. We had put a barricade down at the end of Reaver Lane to fix that from having people driving in and off the road. Picked up 3 loads of dumped trash. We finished our final grade and seeding down on Richter Road, our Richter Road project, where we put in over 200 feet of storm drain. Some mower maintenance, dump truck maintenance. Sent out 12 mow letters, sent out 10 trash letters, and mowed 14 House Bill 50 properties.
Busy month. Hey, you guys have any questions on that?
No.
I have a question for you, Jim. I was trying to find it in my phone, but I can't find it right now. Do you know anything about the signs that popped up behind, Mr. Tate's, house in the alley? It looks like they're, have something to do with, I'm gonna have to ask Robin, it's trash company or Swico or?
No, I think it's the ones he's speaking about.
Oh.
It's probably the illegal dumping signs.
Oh, so you, okay, so you know all about them and everything, cause Chips and I didn't know anything about, they're great signs,
Yeah,
and
we
have you
we
seen
had
them, John?
I have not.
Yeah, we had some in stock that Swaco contacted
Back
Mr.
in.
Mazer and they brought some over
Okay.
and donated them, so we,
I think I went to my phone too soon and I wasn't listening. I was trying to get that picture up to show you the sign, so.
yeah, they're nice signs.
Yeah, very nice. You guys get a chance. I think it's gonna be effective, I hope. Well, maybe not. People that dump just
Oh,
don't.
is this where I dump?
So, but, no, I thought they were great, so good to know.
Maybe we could get a couple more, no, another street, and someone would love to have them.
You guys tell me where you want them, we've got a few of them out in the shop.
Ray Avenue.
Ray Avenue,
Get with
definitely.
Miss Carol after the meeting.
Yeah. Can I say something, Jim? There's
Sure.
already one down on the Whitethorn Inn, which is lovely, because now I know exactly where they're gonna dump it, because that's what they do, they
They see
target
the
them.
signs and they
And
dump
he
it.
knows it, he knows it as
So you're
well as I
right.
know it, they'll back right up to him and dump it
So you
just
don't want a
like.
sign?
No, it's there.
Oh, okay.
It just makes it easier on me, because I know exactly where to look first.
And that-
Okay.
she's
So-
absolutely correct, that's what we're finding.
But if you need another sign,
That's, Byron,
What?
you got any spikes, so when they back up.
I ordered landmines, I've got it handed up.
ma'am, I hope ma'am, I know you're joking, but let's make sure that's on public record. That's a joke.
Other than that, that's all I have.
I would like to thank you, for handling Friday night, the tree situation, on the alley. Called your guys back in here, I know it was late, but thank you for that, we appreciate it, and the residents appreciate it.
There's a sign if you'd like to take a quick
Oh,
look.
yeah.
And we have some more of those out in the shop, so.
So,
Where does that number go to?
Goes to the tip line or
Yeah,
something.
the Swaco.
Swaco tip line.
Environmental enforcement.
Yeah.
Anything else
Doesn't
for us?
come to my phone.
Maybe we need to change that number.
No, please don't, my phone rings like.
yeah, thanks for I should have said that too, thanks for the tree. You know, I went,
Oh, yeah.
took a look at her. You advised me I made the right move when I said, I was gonna try to push it off there, but I couldn't do it, so.
I'm kinda glad you did.
I know, I
Very
got
much
it.
so. Other than that, anybody?
I had a toe strap, we could've got it. And a chainsaw. That's it, thank you.
Sounds good.
Fiscal department. Looks like we have some motion to pay, bills and payroll.
Yes. Be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, the board makes a motion to approve accounts payable from May 1st of 2024 through June 11th, 2024, in the amount of $419,947.23 from check number 70284 to 70410, electronic vouchers 8/3/2024 through 10/12/2024.
So moved as the, resolution is written, and I'd ask if there's any questions. Hearing no questions, I would ask for a roll call, or a second, sorry.
I'll second.
Now a roll call,
James,
yes.
John,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes,
thank you. Then I have payroll. This one's a little long, because it has a lot of payroll in it. Be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, that the board makes a motion to approve payroll for the period beginning May 5th through May 18th and paid on May 24th in the amount of $189,820.13 from electronic vouchers 846 through 9/04/2024. Elected officials payroll paid for May of 2024 in the amount of $9,163.24 from electronic vouchers 931 through 9/3/2024. Payroll for the period of May 19th through June 1st and paid on June 7th in the amount of $190,826.36 from electronic vouchers 9/3/2024 through 1,008/2024, and I've attached all the documents.
I will make a motion that we accept the resolution as written, and I'd ask if there's any discussion. Hearing the discussion, I would ask for a second.
I'll second that, sir.
Ma'am, will you give us a roll call?
James?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Mike?
yes.
Thank you.
Alright, moving on, do you have anything else for us, ma'am? Yes, you do.
I
Tax
do,
budget for 2025 preparation, or do you not have that, or is that?
that's
Or is that-
that's not mine.
I
That's
asked
not
that to
yours?
be put on there,
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
so.
I had a question. I know we didn't have checks, here sporadic to come in and sign. Are our vendors okay? Are we caught up with everything?
We're caught up as of today.
Okay,
With me being out, I was out for basically
Right.
7 working days. I was out. But then when I came back, I wasn't sure if you were aware, but when I came back at part-time light duty.
Yes.
So I was only working 20 hours a week for 3 weeks.
okay.
And so I can only account for the hours that I work and the work that I can get done within those hours.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Well, I didn't know if it was you or someone, you know, or,
ultimately, I've been
Lindsay would do it.
responsible.
Okay,
I've been responsible for doing them when I'm here.
okay,
I can't answer for what happens when I'm not here.
gotcha.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure that, cause I understand that we were in here usually every Thursday to sign, and then when we miss one, I'm thinking, okay, are we gonna get a late fee from someone, or maybe there was no bills that week, I don't know.
Well, there's
I
pretty
don't
much.
believe that.
Well, just there's bills every week.
Yeah, that's what I said, I don't believe that, there's always
There
bills.
should be,
Okay,
and when there's not, that's gonna be an indication that there's something going on in fiscal, either an interruption, another task I've been given, you know, something else that's slowing down the normal process.
okay,
So it's not that they're being ignored or being stacked in a pile and being forgotten, because I have a system in my office where everything's accessible. So all the accounts payables goes in the same place. So like Lindsay and I know where those are, so it's not like they're not available to be processed, if that makes any sense. And so, if I get another task or something comes that's unexpected, like, you know, the bank thing, that was a
That's
2-hour
okay, yeah.
task yesterday, working through calling
Yes.
different people, working out the strategy, what's our best way to handle this, making appointments with the right people so that we could get things addressed. Today, working with Steve, I kept interrupting him and I feel bad about that. But Lindsay schedules her personal schedule, and so when she's not here, sometimes I have to bounce things off Steve, and I feel bad about having to do that. But I don't run the fiscal department, and so I feel like I've gotta bounce things
You have
off,
to have support,
you know,
yeah.
and I feel like we'll get there, but it's just been a very slow process. But that
So
answers your
before we
question?
move-
Did that answer your question?
oh, yeah, I just didn't know, and I wasn't trying to, and really, I felt bad, because I feel like I put you on the spot, I wasn't trying to do that. I was just wondering, because I didn't think it was,
It's just different when we don't have checks on
Right.
Thursday.
No, and you guys have the right to ask. Unfortunately, I'm the one here to date the
Yeah.
table to get that question asked to. I'm not gonna talk ill about my superior.
We never asked you to.
But, when I'm not here, I don't have any control what gets done or what doesn't.
Yes, ma'am.
right. Alls we know is we get a text saying no checks today. So obviously I had a huge pile today to go through, so, I mean, I obviously were caught up with that. I just didn't know, there's never Paul Harvey, the rest of the story, so I just
Yeah,
didn't know.
I've been trying to, like, yesterday I worked a 10-hour day, you know, just to ensure that you guys had everything you needed this morning. Every single accounts payable on my desk there's nothing.
Okay.
There's absolutely nothing there today, so.
We're good.
And
Thank
just
you.
ensuring that we're trying to get back up to speed
So
again.
before we move on to the 2025 tax budget, I do wanna ask you a question, maybe you can answer, on the application that we've had for to hire another assistant or something like that. Can you give us an update, like maybe how many people have put in for the position or anything? Do you have any knowledge of any of that?
I don't have any knowledge of any applicants. I know we put if I'm recalling correctly, the part-time position was put on our website and was put on Facebook. And that was kind of the first step of reaching out to the community for the need for the position versus incurring a cost, like putting it on Indeed or, you know,
Right.
an employment place where we have to pay a fee to do that. So we thought, we'll try it the most conservative way first, at no cost. To my knowledge, and we might wanna confirm with Lindsay, I don't believe we have any applicants.
Ma'am, and I know this is not your responsibility, and I will send an email out to, Lindsay, our fiscal officer, but if you see her before I get a chance to, can you please remind her that this board would like to have our monthly reports?
Okay.
The credit card reports, the, appropriation summary, cash flow, you know which ones I'm talking about.
The management reports
management
that have been
reports,
provided in the past.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, she had approached me at one of the last meetings that she was sat at the table, that she approached me, that the board had requested those. And I asked her when she had time, if she would sit with me and I would show her how to execute those reports. Because typically that's something that has typically come from the fiscal officer to the board.
Yeah.
So unless there was not a fiscal officer here, it was really the only time that I would send those
Right.
out. So I try not to overstep and I stay in my lane as the assistant.
That's why I'm asking you to just address, I know it's not your job, it's actually
No,
comes from the fiscal's job, a fiscal officer, but could you pass that along that
And I'll
it's
assist her in that.
required that we have some of those by the state of Ohio?
Yes, sir.
So when it comes to this 2025 budget, we all got something from Mr. Wilczek,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so,
then there was a correction or something he sent to.
Yeah.
okay, so I was in on Tuesday and had a meeting with Steve about what we were going to go over today at this meeting, what I wanted on the agenda. And so we had a conversation, so we brought, you're agreeing, I know you are, but you're
Yes.
saying, so let me know if I get off track, okay? And so we asked
I pulled it
Mr.
up so I
We
can
asked
look.
Mr. Wilczek to step in and, guide us on where we're at with this and how it works, and, so he called it counting backwards. And so it's, pretty important that someone gets on this budget, it's due, it has a deadline, and it's not him,
Right.
No.
it's the fiscal officer. And so,
What is the deadline, do we know?
yeah, we do, it's the
It's
28th.
28th of this month.
Okay,
So we have one more meeting before,
and we
We're
have
gonna
to
have a meeting on the
as a
27th.
board
Yep.
To see that.
And so I asked for that to be put on the budget, or I asked Steve to put this on the budget because it has to be talked about.
And
And when we don't
we're
have-
able to have a special meeting before our meeting to go over that, correct? Cause that's what we've done in the past.
So, we're gonna set one up on the 20th. And then, yes, you can do one prior to the 28th, anytime you would like.
On the 28th?
Before the 27th. The budget is due the 28th.
That's pushing it, if we do it on the 27th.
And Mr. Wilczek represented to Steve and I that it probably would take 40 hours
Yes,
to get that, for her to get that done, probably.
yes. So
So
you
I'm
wanna
just
get
trying to
back
make
to us then?
everybody aware of where we're at.
Well, what I think, I mean, I can get back,
But we just need to, without Lindsay being in here knowing.
Well, it's really not his place.
No, letting us know when
For
the
a
meeting.
meeting.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just, because it's kinda hard to set a meeting when you have the most important person not in this meeting.
My suggestion would be to have two meetings. I would have a status report update as of the 20th, and we have our special and exec. And then I would probably commit for another meeting on the 25th for another update. Because then if something needs to be done to get this in on the 28th, we have a couple, 2-3 days to finalize it, to get it in on time.
Make it happen, sir, at 9 AM.
If it's late, tell me, I'm way offline. Are there filing fees or deadline fees or late fees or?
There can be,
Okay.
we can be penalized, there's also, which you don't like to ask for, but you can ask for an extension.
Okay.
But you have to
Okay.
really have a good reason, I mean, because I was on vacation doesn't work, you know what I mean, you have to have a solid.
Township all burnt down.
Yeah, you gotta have a solid, substantial reason for your extension, but it is an option. Doesn't guarantee it will be granted, but it is an option. You have to reach out to the county auditor for that. extension.
So that would probably be my suggestion to, discuss it on the 20th, and then probably come back on the 25th for an update. And, that gives us, like I said, 2, 3, 4 days to finalize this for the 28th filing.
If it's okay with you gentlemen, I'll copy you guys on the email I send to Lindsay.
Okay.
And I'll just put that in there.
Yeah,
So
we'll
you
get
have
that
a
done.
motion for this action, like for this timeline action, or no?
No,
I don't think we
I
need a
don't think we
motion
do, 'cause
for it.
we're gonna try to get this time frame in when we can meet and et cetera, and I don't think that would constitute as needing any action.
No, there's no action there, it's just we're looking to find a meeting time.
Okay, I just wanna make sure that, because of the timeline and the sensitivity, I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The sooner the better.
Okay.
Then we'll have to check with Lindsay, see when she's in, as well as also getting Jeff here as well.
I don't know if Jeff won't be
No,
involved.
this won't be
It
Jeff.
won't be
Okay.
Jeff, it's
Okay.
Jeff has taken himself out of this.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's what, when I said that he changed his letter of engagement the last time,
yeah,
that's what I was talking about. And
okay,
everybody was good with it.
yeah,
And when we spoke to him in Steve's office, that's what he represented to us, correct?
Mhm.
So this is now on us.
okay,
And this would mean Lindsay.
Mhm.
okay.
She's been here 10 months.
Yeah, it's time to soar. Anything else on that?
That's it, sir, I'm sorry.
I have nothing else.
Okay, thank you, sir. Administrator Steve Mazer, always coming to you, you always got a laundry list. And I love it.
I'll do my best to keep it short.
All the departments here, all the department heads do a fantastic job. But one thing to remember, they all feed up to him. That's why his list is the longest.
Thanks, Chairman. The first resolution I have is 2024-083. It's obligations approved by the Township Administrator between May 16, 2024 and June 11, 2024. And whereas the Board of Trustees in Resolution 2021-130 authorized the Township Administrator to approve incur obligations of $10,000 or less on behalf of the Township in accordance with section 507.11 of the Ohio Revised Code. And again, it's for the period May 16, 2024 through June 11, 2024 in the amount of $31,587.
I'll make a motion that we accept the resolution as written, and I'd ask for discussion. Hearing none, I would ask for a second.
I'll second that.
Roll call, ma'am.
James?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Um,
083.
Yeah.
Were there, not to break the rhythm, were there a couple resolutions that I needed to get you to sign?
Yes. Yeah, you put them in your handy little folder, but I don't know which one.
Okay, don't let me forget.
It's the latest new hires.
Don't let me forget, I will find this. I'm gonna do the resolutions first, gentlemen. The next resolution
fine.
I have is 2024-084. It's a resolution regulating parking on Industrial Mile Road. Whereas the Board of Trustees of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, has determined the public safety and welfare would be best served by the following parking regulations. Section 1, no person shall stop, stand, or park any vehicle along the western side of Industrial Mile Road, a Franklin Township road, which is in the unincorporated area of the township between Westport Drive and Nationwide Boulevard, including the right-of-way. Owners of vehicles parked in violation of parking regulations enacted by this resolution will be notified by having a parking ticket handed to the vehicle operator by the Franklin Township Police Department in a manner apparent to the operator of the vehicle and or receipt of a summons from the Franklin County Municipal Court, Clerk of Court. The ticket to be issued or used pursuant to this resolution shall be the Ohio Uniform Traffic Ticket. Parking areas regulated as stated above shall be designated by the installation of traffic control devices conforming to ORC section 4511.09. Vehicles and owners may be exempt from certain restrictions created by this resolution on the holidays enumerated in the ORC section 511.10 and further specified in ORC section 1.14. It is hereby found and determined that all formal actions of this board concerning and relating to the passage of this resolution were taken in an open meeting of this board, and that all deliberations of this board and any of its committees have resulted in such formal action took place in meetings open to the public. This resolution shall be declared an emergency and take effect at the earliest permitted by law.
And only question I have is we're going to do the whole industrial mall,
Well, what we're doing,
the whole west side?
we have this option. We can do the entire street. We can do sections of the street. What this resolution does is it gives us a flexibility.
Thank you.
We can do the whole thing, or we can just do portions of it.
So moved as the resolution is written. I ask if there's any discussion. Hearing none, I'd ask for a second.
I'll second.
Ma'am, roll call when you're ready.
James,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you. That is horrendous. I don't know if the rest of you
I
gentlemen have
drove
been
over
down
there
through
this
there on
past night.
Friday.
Well, it wasn't on Friday, but I drove over there.
2 weeks is bad, but on Friday it's real bad.
Yeah.
Next resolution is resolution 2024-085. It's a resolution approving the acceptance of a reimbursement payment from the Ohio Bureau of Workmen's Compensation. Be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, that the board approves and authorizes the acceptance of $5,200 from the Ohio Bureau of Workmen's Compensation regarding reimbursement to the township for expenses related to establishing a transitional work program. And you will have an exhibit attached with a copy of the check. What this is, 2 years ago, BWC visited the township, and as it says in the resolution, we began a transitional work program, light duty, so to speak, and the initial investment from the township was $5,200. Now that we've instituted this program, BWC reimbursed the township with $5,200. So, that's exactly what this resolution entails, just us accepting our initial investment of $5,200.
And that initial investment, even though we're getting it back, has helped save the township hundreds of thousands of dollars probably.
I think, yes, thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And I think we've seen an impact in our premiums.
Yeah, and if I had been able to participate
Yeah.
in that light duty program, I would have been out for 30 days.
Yeah.
So it really benefits even just continuing to keep the work moving.
Yeah.
In all departments, not just here, we've done it in all the other departments too.
Well, I will make a motion that we accept the resolution as written. I'd ask if there's any more discussion. Hearing none, I'd ask for a second.
I'll second.
Anytime we're getting money back.
Hey, Jim,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Thank you.
I should have said James, my apologies.
That's all right.
Gentlemen, what I have here, these are two resolutions that have already been approved. One is for Joe Hall, who's a new road department employee. And one is for Preston Reese, a new firefighter.
We've already passed those, right?
Yes.
Those are just
Got
something-
away before we.
Yeah.
They're just-
I remember those. There's needed, yeah.
Then the next thing I have, I believe it was the last meeting, the trustees agreed, to send a letter of support on behalf of, the city of Columbus for the Galloway Road project.
Yes.
What we have now is the city is asking again for a letter of support. They're applying for a $1.2 million grant to help to start extending trails, within the city. For example, there's a Linden Green Line, the Heritage Trail, the Olentangy Trail, Scioto Trail. And it's just part of the future where trails and mobility we're trying to connect. And eventually one day the Camp Chase Trail will be part of this program. And that runs from pretty much, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that, from downtown out to Madison County.
Yeah.
But in the Valley View area there's kind of a disconnect.
Yeah.
And we are hoping one day to have that connected. So we're just trying to be good neighbors, because the day will come when we'll need funding. And, that's why the city again asked us for a letter of support for these projects that they have going on.
What do you need from this board?
Just your support, just a motion to, and their letter, they're all templates, we all send them out.
Yep.
And, so yes, just a motion supporting with this letter of support for the city of Columbus's project.
So be it resolved by the Board of Trustees, Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, that the board is interacting with the city of Columbus and will issue a letter of support in this matter. If there's no further questions on the matter, I would ask for a second.
I will second that.
Steve, what is the name of this project?
It is,
I've seen the email.
Sorry.
I can't
no,
remember.
you have to write it. The
Here, let me
active,
pass it to her.
active transportation infrastructure investment program, or the acronym is ATIIP.
There we go. So basically, the motion is the Board of Trustees in support of this project.
That we will be sending a letter of support.
Letter to follow. Okay, James,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
thank you.
Now, just some discussion topics. As you all know, the cannabis market is boom.
It's up in smoke.
Boom, yes,
It's flying high.
yes. There's a gentleman that has been trying to contact me about setting up a dispensary on West Broad Street. In fact, John was nice enough to remind me, there's a resolution passed, I think it's back in 2017,
Something like that.
that the trustees approved that you could have cannabis dispensaries in the township. Now, there are a ton of regulations. You can only have one within a mile of each other, and it's all very new, and I'm still learning how all the regulations work. But just to let you know that we do have one gentleman who is interested in opening up on West Broad Street. So, my understanding is, right, we have a resolution, we're good,
Yeah.
okay.
They have to be spread out, and there's a lot of regulations, and it won't be anytime soon. Before he gets his permit, probably be September.
And they're fluid, they're changing.
It's constant change.
Yeah.
What else you have for us?
Next topic is our telephone service. We currently are paying a company called Nuso, $345.99 a month for our service. My understanding is we have kind of a maintenance agreement, it might even be a third-party contractor, called Emerald Voice Services. Gentleman's name is Jeff Keller. He services all our phones. He explained to me a couple weeks ago that he can continue this same service that we have now. And again, Nuso is charging the township $345 a month. The same service for $235 a month. And he's assured me it is no hiccup, it's because he services this, he's servicing our phones. So he can continue the same service for basically $100 less. So I just want to make sure the trustees are comfortable with us.
Yeah. What do you need from this board?
Just, I'm letting you know, and of course I need your approval to do this.
Be it resolved by the Board of Trustees that the trustees give the
Top
administrator the option to, work with Jeff Keller in order to, update the phones and be a savings to the township. If there is no further questions, I'd ask for a second.
I would second.
Sorry. Okay, James,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
I just assumed, Mr. Mazur, that, you know, we give you the day-to-day operations, and
Well,
my
I-
opinion of phone
I-
service is the day-to-day operations, and you're just keeping
Well,
us
it
abreast
just
of
lets
it.
us brag a little bit, then we can save $100.
I get it, yeah, I mean, you can bring it to the board. Every dime counts.
The next thing is, we have a local company, it's actually out of Grove City, called Gateway Fencing. They have offered to repair the fencing along the Union Cemetery, donating the materials and the labor. They would like to start, I just received an email before the meeting started, I haven't had a chance to read it. They would like to start here very soon. What they're gonna do is, the fencing is good, basically, they're gonna re-stretch it, and then use this new painting, electromagnetic painting, where once they get the fencing back and supported and stretched, they just go along and they'll paint it black, this electromagnetic paint. And then they'll replace all the bad gates and any bad posts and things like that. So I asked, the owner, Gary Nagel, to let me know a day or two before they start, so if anybody would like to come out and see this project. He said it shouldn't take more than a day or two, and he'd like to have it done before the 4th of July. But I told him absolutely, I should appreciate the fact that he's offering to do this, and he said this is something he's wanted to do since he had his fencing company, so.
Now, there's no advertisement on the fencing form, no nothing?
They reached out to me,
Okay.
I talked to
and,
them.
and
I
I
talked to them.
and I told them to reach out to you, that you were the person to be.
And the only thing I've done is I touched base with Julie just to see if there's anything we need, just to make sure, like, you know, maybe a certificate of liability, something like that. But I thought it was tremendous that he offered to do this.
I think we should recognize that at the National Night Out as well, maybe a plaque or
Yeah.
something.
I know in the past that I've even reached out and applied for grants to
Mhm.
replace all the fencing at the
Mhm.
cemetery. And that was all denied because it has to be a working cemetery, and that's not a working cemetery. And we've even went back through like the VA and got no help, so I think it's great that this gentleman stepped up to,
I do.
And that fence needs some repair.
it does.
I drove past it this
We
morning.
need to remember
It
to
does.
have a
We've
National Night Out.
done everything we can
Do
short of
a
replacing
plaque
it.
with some sort of appreciation.
Yes, yep.
I can represent 58 years ago, my Boy Scout troop worked in that cemetery, you know, it was the project
Wow.
in Scouts, so, yeah.
Now you're telling your age.
That's, no, you don't know. Well,
He's 50.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish.
Okay.
All right, anything else for us?
Just,
It looks
just-
like you have one more thing.
Just the last thing, I know we've had discussions about living at home rule. Nicole was nice enough to print out just some information that highlights the do's and don'ts, the pluses and minuses of home rule. So if any of you would like it, I'll be more than happy to hand these out.
Yes.
It's funny, each week, we have discussions with homeowners here in the township. And it's amazing having these discussions, how limited home rule would benefit them. And again, we're putting the authority for this in your hands. You tell us what you like, and if we can do it under the guidelines of the home rule, we'll do it. We'll do it.
And we will be having some special meetings coming up on this. Probably at various sites throughout the township, but they'll most likely be in the evening, because we, you know, just to hit everybody. We want everybody that has a question to be able to ask their questions, but if you wanna take a handout and talk to your neighbors, let them know it's coming, we'd appreciate it.
I just have a note here from you, a waste oil burner.
Oh, yeah,
So is it up to me now?
that's for,
What was your question?
yeah, go ahead. No,
So the only thing that I wanted to do is update the people. I don't have sewer update, so I guess it's bus station update. You probably heard or read that they're going to, in the town, of course, this is adjacent, one side of the street's township, the other side isn't. But they're gonna make it so that there are only transfers and no drop-off, bus station anymore. As they move forward, the city of Columbus came to an agreement with Barron's Bus. So that's pretty much what I have on that.
You done?
I'm done.
Awesome. Like I said, anything I had, and I kinda hit on part of it, was that you're gonna see a lot of special meetings coming up in the future. We have a lot of stuff going on in this township, and in order to keep everybody informed, we're gonna need to have special meetings and discuss. And we're gonna have some, just keep checking back. And some will be here, some will maybe in the firehouse at 192, maybe up at a church in the far north. But we're gonna get out to the people, because, you guys well deserve to know what's going on and what we're planning for the future. Mr. Blevins?
Yes, so, we seem to skip over public comment today, so are we doing that?
We'll do that
at the
again,
end?
yeah.
Okay,
I still have
so,
it right here.
We just have one, and it's
Okay.
again, just in case.
well, I wanna speak during that time too, so, I can talk about what I wanna talk about then, or I can talk about it in public comments, but under my name, I had down community engagement, so I met with the fire chief and the police chief, and what I would like to propose is, a community engagement that goes along similar with the Touch-a-Truck. You guys seem to be impressed with the Touch-a-Truck and how it worked and everything. And so I would like to do something that we're going to put the name on it for right now, is a traveling water fund with first responders. And how it would work would be, the fire chief said he could use both stations, and we would go out, and I'm proposing July the 13th, and we would have spots picked out in the township, and we would have, the fire trucks come and turn on the water for the kids and people in these determined locations that we picked for anywhere from 20 minutes to a half hour. It would move through the triangle, and then the one, off of Sullivan Avenue would do Havenwood, Broadlawn, and Moneyback. I need a little bit of time. I'm happy to run with this, but I need a little bit of time to communicate with these churches and some of the roads and everything. So I wanted to present it to the board to see if it would be something you guys would, be okay, and if so, I'll sit and make an emotion for today. If you have any discussion, you have any questions for me, but Byron came to the meeting and the fire chief came to the meeting, and he couldn't be here today, but I think I'm representing to you that they were both fine with it, and I spoke to Byron yesterday, so he can speak on his behalf. I don't think it's gonna cost us very much money. We're gonna be using people that are already on duty, and it's just another way to engage with the community and get people, you know, to see our people and things like that.
Absolutely. You wanna make that motion?
I absolutely will. So I'll make a motion that we, potentially on July the 13th, we're gonna have a traveling water fund with first responders. It would be the fire chief and the police chief would have a fire truck go out in 2 different locations at various spots in the township and let the children have a little bit of fun, and the chief will be along to participate also.
Any other questions?
So,
I don't have any questions.
I would second that motion.
James?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Mike?
and then, oh yes, I'm sorry. My head's 2 steps ahead.
Go
So
ahead.
then I wanna give you guys one more, since you like that one, I don't have it written down, so I'm gonna talk from the top of my head, we don't have to vote on it today. I have a second one in mind for a community engagement. It would be at Christmas time, and I also spoke to the chief, both chiefs about this, and I'd like to see the township at Christmas time go through the neighborhoods with a Santa Claus on top of the fire engine. And I'll represent to the township that I can guarantee that they'll have an appropriate outfit for him to wear. And I just need you to let me know that you don't have a problem with it, so I can get that purchased.
I don't have a problem.
And
You
I'm
wanna make a
going,
motion?
no, I don't wanna do that today, but I'm not gonna, I'm having my daughter research it right now, but this takes time to get this purchased and get back. And I will always let Franklin Township use it for as long as I'm here in the township, beyond my time as being a trustee. They will always have the ability to use that, but I'm going to keep it because I'm going to also use it in my personal life. So I would only,
I would also tell you, just because in my nature, my business, we have found some really, really good pricing and good quality on Amazon.
well, and that's where my daughter actually has one, but I have a little bit of concern. With this particular one, I just questioned her, so I told her, hold off until I speak to the other two gentlemen today.
And I think we could get some candy and.
Well, and that's what I'd really like, and Chief was really excited about it, and you can probably speak to it, sir. He said they have like in the new truck, like a tour up there. We could put him up there and let him just come through, and Byron and his officers can come through behind. And I just like to get the community back involved myself. I see other entities doing this, and I question, why don't we? And I'm not banging on anybody for not doing it, but I'm happy.
Hey,
This is
I'm
why I
impressed,
wanna
Mike.
be a trustee. This is what's important to me,
That's very good, very good.
so.
So we're gonna put.
I'm sure you don't wanna do a motion today.
That's right, that's exactly.
So, Mike, if I.
Get it out of the way.
I actually have a third one, but I don't know if you want me to do this or not. So you guys got me on the roll. so-
Let's take care of the first, let's take care of the second one
There's a
first.
question on that, so from what I'm hearing, you're gonna put the reindeer behind the
No.
sleigh? Generally, with all the sleighs I got, the reindeer's going to run.
Yeah.
Only at Franklin Township.
The reindeer is behind at Franklin Township. You wanna make that a motion?
Jim, you know what the
that
road crew gets to
okay.
do.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, go
Okay,
ahead.
so be it resolved by the Board of Trustees, Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, that the board is going to the board is going to, do Santa with the fire department throughout the community engagement programs. Times and date yet to be set. So at this time, if there's no further question, I would ask for a second.
I'll gladly second that,
Okay, James,
yes.
John,
Ho, ho, ho. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
thank you.
Yeah.
Get out the
You want
I'm
me
a
to
little,
get the
I'm a
third
little
one out of the
partial.
way?
Yes,
to-
I
I'm
know.
a little partial to
What it
Christmas
is.
Now
time,
we're
because Christmas is my favorite time of
Please
year.
ask him if he's gonna need help.
Okay, so the third
I
one,
will.
and this is just where my mind goes at 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm just gonna be totally honest with you. So what I'd like to do here, and I explained it to both chiefs, is I would like to turn this parking lot into a place where you can come in your vehicle, and we would bring people in on this side of the building, and we would bring people in on the back side of the modular, and they'll come around the buildings, and we're gonna have a Santa Claus set up just outside, right where Miss Robin parks her car. And we're gonna have a Santa Claus set up there, and we'll decorate the back of it with a drop. And then as you drive up, you get out of your car with your phone and your camera, and we'll happily take a picture of your family with Santa Claus. We're gonna do it early, and they can use that for their Christmas cards or anything they would like to do with that. And we're just gonna move people in on the left side, and we're gonna move people in on the right side, and they're just gonna file through, and they're gonna get out of their car, take the picture, and then move on. And I'm happy to volunteer to be a part of it.
Well, that just answered one of my questions.
No, it'd be great to have the other trustees come out.
Oh, yeah.
Bring your families, if nothing else, but I think we do it at least 3 Saturdays in November. You wanna do it early because it gives the people time to go down to CVS and get your pictures in. You can send them out as your Christmas cards, you can just do, this is no cost to anybody. It's just a little bit of our time and our employees. And again, you can have, Santa Claus could have a basket of candy or whatever and just stand there and just goodwill. and that's what I think.
So time frame from what I have experienced when I talk to Santa, is usually like from 10 to 2 works very well for, in our business when Santa's around the different places we are. And then also the last weekend, you're talking November, you gotta remember there's that one weekend with Michigan and Ohio State. And we usually skip that one because of that.
Well, as I look at the calendar right now, John, and I'm just gonna be totally honest here.
Okay.
I wanna catch November the 2nd, because that falls before Election Day.
Okay,
And I'm not gonna hide this in any way, shape, or form. We're going to be asking people to pass levies and do different things and stuff like that. And so if we can show that we're wholeheartedly supporting our community, they may be more apt to support the things we'd like them to
and
support.
so it's the only thing that I give caution is we would check with Julie what we can and can't say because we're on township property.
I'm not talking about it during
No, no, no,
that
no,
time.
no.
I'm just saying, let's let them see that we put these things in place today.
Yeah.
And I don't want this to be a one-off. I want this Christmas program, and I want that touch a truck thing, and I want the water fund with the responders. I want that to be a yearly thing. I want that to come up just like National Night comes up.
Yeah.
I want it to hit the schedule, and I wanna do it at least for the next 3.5 years I'm here.
So one of the things too, sir, that you might wanna remember is also we have that smokehouse that doesn't get used a lot, where it's training and education, what to do in a fire for the kids. We use that National Night Out. Also,
We no longer have that in the trailer.
we don't have it anymore?
No. It was sold to another fire department because.
We sold it
Yes.
without the board knowing?
Oh, no, it was, no, this is probably 2 years ago.
It's been a while.
It had to be more than 2 years ago.
It's a while ago. We went to another fire department.
I didn't know we sold
sir.
it. So now the next question is, do you still have the little house that the kids spray and they
We have
knock down the
We have the
windows?
house with the hose, and we have the little firefighter that they can put their head in and take a picture. Like it has the cutout of their face, and where they
Yeah.
can stick their face in it and stuff like that. Yeah, but that was kind of, we replaced things. Cause the trailer was not getting utilized, and was having a lot of maintenance issues that we would have to incur.
Wow.
Mike, I get what you're saying about November, but also I would sew at least one weekend in December in there.
I don't have a problem with
Yeah,
it.
just because of the late,
Sure.
because some people don't start thinking about Christmas.
I don't think it has to be, any more than a couple of hours.
Oh,
You
yeah.
understand?
Yeah.
We're gonna, if we do 4 weeks, that
me
should
too.
give everybody the opportunity to flow through, and we'll see how it goes. I explained to Byron and them, I thought people could park out front and just, if they wanted to step out while cars were getting loaded and unloaded, we'll make that work. You know, I'm pretty
Yeah.
good at on-the-fly decisions and do this and do that. I like to tell people what to do, just I don't like to do it myself.
So be it resolved.
Wow.
He owns it.
Brutal honesty.
Whoa.
And the bad thing is people have that on tape now.
My children would have told you if I didn't.
Go ahead, John, you started and I
Okay.
interrupted.
So be it resolved by the Board of Trustees, Franklin Township, Ohio, that the board's, new this year, entertaining into, community engagement with holiday spirit by having Santa on premises on dates yet to be fully decided. We're looking at November 2nd and then some dates in December where people are able to come, get pictures taken with their own cameras and be filled with the spirit of Christmas. And if there's no further question on it, I would ask for a second.
I will gladly second that.
Okay, James,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
thank you.
Christmas is my favorite time of year, like I said earlier.
Me too.
Now they got me thinking about Christmas.
Yeah, well, you don't know what we got for you, sir. Easter bunny.
Yeah. Been there, done that. But I remember before I was trustee that we did, Byron did something, and there's a Santa out
Yeah,
at.
one of my Santas.
Yeah, I remember that. I stopped in for that.
Cafeteria.
Yeah. All right, anything else, Mike?
So do you want me to do this last thing?
Yeah.
From my spot or?
No,
Because this
go.
is sort of public comment, okay, so in a way, it's, can be a trustee comment, so unfortunately, this has to come up. So this has to do with our fiscal officer, and so I just wanna make a statement. On 3/7, John, you, at the meeting, you made a statement that wasn't even sure that the fiscal officer lived in the township. Okay?
It was brought to my attention
Yes,
and I didn't know.
yes, sir, and I
Yeah.
agree, this is not pointing a finger at
No
any
worries.
person, I'm just, and then on 5/16, you addressed the audience that, that the fiscal officer should come to the podium, and, it's important that we don't have the perception that this thing is all being swept under the rug. And this is where Mr. Wilczek had spoke to us about what was going on in the township as far as the fiscal, officer.
Correct.
Okay?
And I believe that was handled with the special meeting that we had with them, but.
Well, I'm
I may be
I'm
wrong.
just doing
Yeah.
statements that
Gotcha.
occurred in the meeting, okay?
Okay.
And then on 5:30, someone from the audience, which was our last meeting,
Yeah.
came to the podium and read a statement, and that's where it involves me, do you understand?
Okay.
Because now, it's been asked of me to answer of what's going on in the fiscal department.
Okay.
I understand I have no say on what is done in there, but as a trustee, a resident has came forward and asked that I speak about it
Okay.
and get answers, and so from the podium, asked about the fiscal department, and again, Lindsay was sitting right in that chair, but you fielded the question. You answered the question, Lindsay was sitting right there, and if you answered what's going on with the fiscal department, and just as James almost did, he said what transpired in our special meeting and this and that and the other. There comes a point in time where we're gonna have to have somebody come and answer to the board about the fiscal officer. I have received phone calls since last Thursday, all the way through the entire weekend, and unfortunately, we have got to answer, there has to be answers given to the public.
I concur with that.
And we cannot keep, like your words, it can't be kicked underneath the rug any longer.
Right.
And Steve, you sent, I got, all three of us, I believe, if I read it right, got something from a resident late last night, questions that needed to be asked today.
Sure.
And Steve wrote back to them this morning and said that they would be. And so I'm assuming that that questions, or that is going to be read, because that's what, you said it would be addressed by the trustees.
Much like if the lady were here today.
Okay,
Yes.
and so in there, is that going to be that question? It just keeps coming up, gentlemen.
Okay.
And so there has to be, and you want me to be the heavy, I'm the heavy. I don't have any problem being it. I don't know Lindsay, I don't like or dislike Lindsay, has nothing to do with Lindsay. But what it has to do with is business in this township has to be done and done correct. And in the past, sir, you have been all over this yourself with other fiscal officers. And
Yes.
so I'll just represent to you that I'm just a little bit, taken back that there hasn't been more on your end about this.
Okay.
And so if I have to be the person that steps up and speaks, so be it, I don't have a problem.
No worries. With just the information that I had been given and et cetera, and when I asked a question at the other meeting and said about sweeping under the rug, and I guess in a way, I'm asking everybody when I was asking the questions, because the only thing I'm getting is bits and pieces, from what's factual, what's not. I don't know, I hear she works 1 hour a week, or excuse me, 1 hour a day maybe, in and out, in and out. I don't know when she's in, I don't know when she's not in. I guess in a way I've treaded lightly to see what is going on there. And I don't have all the answers, for it, because I'm probably in the dark as much as, I don't know if you have any more knowledge than I have.
No.
So
But
I
when
wasn't,
I have-
I
go
wasn't
ahead, I'm
trying to go to, I wasn't trying to go to bat for her.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't take it as that.
Okay, I was just basically trying to, answer the questions based on public's, you know, cause we heard what Jeff had to say, and then all of a sudden I've heard people say, well, are they ever gonna say anything about it? So I wanted to make sure that it wasn't stoked a fire, so to speak, that, hey, what are we doing here? And we really don't, I don't have an answer.
Well, I just wanna represent to you every time that I've asked any questions to do with fiscal, it seems like I always get the same answer back, and the answer is, fiscal department is their own department. There's a difference between running the fiscal department and getting work done that we are responsible to answer to the people for.
Sure.
And when this audit comes back, sir, I'm going to represent to you that there's gonna be many things wrong that questions weren't asked in the past.
So
Yeah,
why
I agree.
why is this addressed to me? I'm just.
No, but okay, why is it addressed to you?
Yeah,
Because you've been here 11 years,
absolutely.
and you were here during the times of the audit that's going on
Correct.
right now.
Correct.
And I was talking about the audit. Are you talking about the whole conversation or the part
Well,
about
the
the audit?
conversation, because.
Oh, well, I thought he could hear me, he's
I
right
am.
here. So, I mean, we keep bouncing back and
Yeah, yeah.
forth. I've really never liked this, setup here. I feel like we should be, I would rather
Well,
be looking at you guys.
I didn't know if this was something that I said, did, or didn't do. I didn't
Okay, I've
understand it.
misconstrued. I want everybody to know, everybody. This has nothing to do with me and John in a personal way. I don't think John has done anything wrong with this. But I represented early into this, when a person comes to that podium,
Absolutely.
one meeting ago, and addressed that, and we basically said nothing, and we went through this entire meeting practically, and nothing's been addressed, I'm not gonna let it go any further.
Sure.
I'm not.
So one of the things that I did address, and I did not want to try to, as I said, try to put, Ms. Watkins under the bus or something. I did have a question in regards to, no weeks without us signing stuff. She works here, she's an employee, she's not the elected official. So in some retro, I was asking, because I'm curious to know, I didn't bring up the reports, I wanted to bring up one thing at a time, because I do know that we've had calls here from vendors wanting to know where their check is for services rendered.
And I brought that up.
Yes, and so it's kind of hard, I wanted on the record to bring up that the trustees asked a question in regards to weeks going by without us signing or doing any checks. But it's a little hard if the fiscal officer's not here. So I can't, to a degree, put anything on Robin, but, you know, the way I ask for a reason, if there's any light that she could give us. Not that it was her fault.
This will answer your question. You brought it up when they came out in an email to all three of us that, sirs, there's no reason to come in on Thursday because there's no check. One of you said, okay, thanks. I believe you said, oh, I was on my way in.
Yes,
Correct me if I'm wrong.
you're correct.
And I wrote, we gotta have a meeting about this.
Yes,
And then what I get back is, the lawyers say that it's not something that you can do in an executive session. So that tells me it's time to do it today.
okay.
And that's what we're doing.
And a lot of times, sir, when I respond in an email, I'm very careful what I say, because it can be construed as you're doing business and sunshine law outside of this meeting. So I physically because I always come in at noon. So I only made a small, burp going, well, I was in my way in, so.
And I rely on you for that, and I appreciate the fact, and you know I came to you and asked, I've asked both of you, are we doing everything okay? Like, am I talking about something that I shouldn't be talking about?
Sure.
I have to be educated, and I've said that from
Right.
coming in from day one.
Right.
And so I'm just.
Anytime
and-
it's an email, if it looks like we're making a decision, you did everything right, you made a statement. If I would've came back on that statement and say, sure, when's a good time with you? Now it becomes a meeting and a decision made outside of here. If you are to get with the administrator and say, we need to have a meeting on this, and you guys set it up and he sets it up with us, it's a different story. So if it seems as if I don't respond to certain ways to keep us from getting into any kind of issues.
Okay, I got everything out that I.
I'm just gonna tap Jeff on what he, that's
No, it's
exactly-
good, I just need you guys to know where I'm at, and I feel you probably feel the same way. Maybe you don't wanna say, maybe you were going to say, but I can't leave here in any more meetings, I can't leave with knowing that I didn't speak up and say, and again, I wanna reiterate, it's nothing to do with Miss Justice. I don't know her, I don't dislike her, I don't like her, it doesn't matter, we're all here to do a job. We get paid for this, so I
Absolutely.
consider it a job,
It is.
okay, and that's how I approach it. I've been accused of being a micromanager, and that's fine with me, I don't care. You wanna call me a micromanager, it's fine. It's how I find things to get done. Your style is your style, and I let you ride it, and you do you, but I'm gonna do me. And I'm to the point now where I'm asking that we get the people answers to the questions. It's not Mike Blevins, I'm telling you, the phone has rung off the hook. I don't know why people don't come out, that represent that they work, or whatever the reason. A lot of people don't like confrontation. I don't mind confrontation. If it has to be confrontational, I'm your guy. Because if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. So,
And we are
you have
getting-
my
we are
word,
getting
you
a few
have
people-
everything that I wanted to say. I would love for, that letter to be read since it was, said to the person that was going to be, or at least addressed.
It will be during the question.
Okay, good.
But with saying that, I would, with what, jumping on to what Mike said there, if you have a question, please email it in. If you can't make the meeting, I'm not talking to people that come all the time, you can always write it down and come up and talk. But those that listen to this and those that'll see it on YouTube, that if you have a question of this board, or you have a question about something, and you can't be here, you have the right to send it in to Mr. Mazer. I believe it comes to you, doesn't it, Mr. Mazer, or is it in a
Yes.
separate email?
No, it comes to me.
But if you go on the website, it'll direct it to you there. Please send that in. We do see them, we do read them, and we have a couple, and, I'm gonna ask John to pull one up here, actually two up here in a minute, and, we'll go from there.
And, sir, if I may for a
Yeah.
second, I forgot something. In regards to the trash and the homeless on Coolidge, I worked with, Chief Arnold, and he has contacted the railroad, he had some contacts on, they're aware of it, they're trying to, make headroom with it. They could not say exactly when it would be cleaned up, so,
I remember you and I talking about that.
yes.
Yeah.
Thanks.
But I wanted to,
Yeah, no, thanks for doing that, because Ms. Cheney asked me about it, so I will get back to him and
right,
let him know
right,
that
so
yes.
they are very much aware of it, and, they are, wanting to do their part in keeping it clean, and, they said that they're being overrun with the homeless in there, and, they're gonna do everything they can to get that cleaned up. So, you want me to read?
Yeah, we'll go to the questions. You have
Okay.
that, no, that's not yours to read, it's over there. No?
What is this one?
I don't know, I was gonna ask Mr. Mason.
So do we
about
wanna
this.
go to this one, or do we wanna go to the cards first, or does it matter?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, so.
Not that one, that one.
I'll read whatever you give me, is that the same thing?
No, this is.
Okay.
This is something totally
Greetings,
different.
gentlemen, as a property owner in Franklin Township, I understand by emailing these questions, they will be asked and answered during the public meeting 6/13. When there be meetings held during the evenings, many people owners of work during the day attend, meetings the day. I recall during the election, Zach Witt and Trustee Fleshman were for evening meetings. Trustee Blevins, also said he was for evening meetings. Why can't you make this work for the residents? Can you please offer clarification regarding the information on the Township Facebook page as it relates to the posting of positions for fiscal officer, as well as pointed comments about the lack of work that is being done by the fiscal officer position and a pay position. Why does this department need more help? Has someone left the department? Is the fiscal officer not holding up obligations? And then there is a comment about her being arrested. Absolutely none of these sound reassuring. As a resident, we elect you trustees to oversee the growth department and of our community. Gentlemen, please take care of this community where I love to live. Sustain our community.
And that's
I skipped
from-
over that.
And that's from Regina. And I would ask if you do send them in, please put your address down so that maybe one of us trustees, if we need to follow up, we can come out and follow up, or at least your contact information. Mr. Fleshman, you wanna address any of those?
I can work backwards up. I can't, I probably heard the same thing that, she heard about the arrest. I have no idea what it was for. Meetings, I am neither, against evening meetings or morning meetings or afternoon meetings. The afternoon meetings seem to work very well for staff reasons. We have everybody here. We get a lot of work done with that. Am I missing something else? That was pretty much it, those two main questions for me.
In the paid position?
Created the positions. We are being told that, with the amount of stuff going on, that we need a, part-time position in that area that facilitate with the workload. That's what I've been told. I don't know personally anything on that. I don't know if Robin, if you, in your department, are you able to comment if that's warranted or needed?
I mean, I think it should come from the fiscal officer.
Yeah.
I just know that the understanding I can give you, at my level, in the office, is that Jeff will check the contractual worker that we've had with us since 2020. The audit is coming to an end with his role, and he's trying to work his way out of the township, you know, as far as that person. So I think that in this department, and with the board's help, trying to bridge that gap, you know, because Jeff carries a lot of load that I've never had any responsibility for. I mean, they're more definitely a fiscal officer responsibility. And I think some of those responsibilities came to light even through the audit process.
Right.
You know, so he just took them on because they weren't getting done either incorrectly, or they weren't getting done at all. But those were definitely roles of, in a more of a leadership, management type of position. And with him slowly working out of the position, I think the township, between Lindsay and Steve and the board, decided that this is a way to bridge that gap, is to bringing in that part-time person.
So
That's my understanding.
So one of the other questions, and I don't know if you feel comfortable answering it, or Mr. Mazer, if you're able to attest to any of this. How many hours a day is she here? I'm not here, I'm a trustee.
I have to, hang on, Robin, I'd have to interject
I'm just
there.
one of the questions that they're asking.
Yeah, but that's not something that.
Okay, Mr. Mazer,
You're putting a subordinate.
Okay.
See, I can't answer.
No, that's fine. I'm not trying to make you.
Yeah.
Are you able to testify as?
The only thing I would comment is when fiscal
And now I
stuff
can't get it
cross
back up.
into my job responsibilities, I have a problem
think
with
it's
that.
right
I don't have the authority to be a fiscal officer.
Yeah, it's right there.
I run the operations in the township, and I look out for
Okay.
these folks.
I just don't comfortable.
And I will.
I don't need to do motions
So-
or any of that, man.
So how do we know, when people are asking, how do we know how much time the fiscal, you know, I hear different things, well, it's whirlwind, an hour here, 2 hours there. I mean, how do I know, how do I answer a question of how much time does the fiscal officer put here?
I guess there's a lot of questions that, and I don't mean to interrupt you, gentlemen, but
I understand.
I guess there's a lot of questions that we need to write down, and we need to have a special meeting, another special meeting
because, you know, when we're.
Well,
getting-
this is, that's a legitimate question from a resident.
Right, and so, when I'm given something to read and a person from home wants to know these questions.
Yes.
You know, I'm not trying to pick on any individual because I have no idea of how much time she puts in, and they don't have a time clock, they're elected official. So I believe that this question, if I may, should go to the next meeting that Lindsay's here, and maybe she can answer the question for the resident that sent this in.
I think it's a good.
I mean,
it's a good
'cause
op- yeah,
I have no way of
I can't
answering
answer
that.
that, yeah, the fiscal officer's position is, it's. Let me back up. We as trustees oversee all of the township. But the fiscal department has an elected official in there that yes, we're still responsible for it. It's a real intricate area there of operations. We really don't have any concrete say, would you say?
The day-to-day
On the
operations.
day-to-day operations of how that department is ran, other than, you know, is it in budget and the bills are being paid, the money's, you know, everything's accounted for. That's the sticky situation here, and, yeah, I agree, I believe that should be asked at the next meeting.
Yeah, cause, and Robin, I apologize, I didn't know how I've never had someone ask me the question to ask.
Right.
And this is my first one that I've ever received that comes in that we need to read in a public meeting, so, but that's my thoughts, so, sir, we have one more.
I have one here.
Can I answer just that one? I feel like I've answered the majority of that,
Sure.
residents' questions.
Sure.
But I just have one that I wanna add. I just want it to be on the record that I'm happy. I would like to see us go to at least one evening meeting a month for a few months to see if it makes a difference. If, we're lucky to have 10 people here during the days. If we move to a 6 o'clock evening meeting, we would have to fill the room to make it to be a significant difference, because James says, and he's correct, I agree, not gonna go against him on this, we're conducting business here, it's a business meeting. But if we can have one or every other one or something, and it makes a significant difference of people showing up, and I understand you gentlemen and I put in place for it to be on YouTube and people can see it there and everything, but I ran on that and I still believe in it, and I proposed it and it failed, and we're moving forward. But to address that person, I don't know if that person's spoke to me in the past or everything, and I'll represent until I no longer can, that I did run on that, and I believe that we could have some meetings in the evenings, and that's all I wanted to say. I'm not asking for it today, I just wanted to answer that person's question.
And we will be having some special meetings in the evening.
And I knew you said that to me, and I thought it was a great idea.
Yeah, I think I've said it here publicly today. I have one, John, before we go to the card.
Okay.
This was emailed in, this morning, even though it came in at 11:30, we'll go ahead and take it on today's venue, because I've talked about some of it. It came in from Robin C. It says, there's a major influx of homeless and drug and crime activities in the Broadlawn addition. They are squatting in homes and taking them over. Now that it is summer and children are outside playing, this is dangerous. People are afraid to go outside. This goes on day and night. It doesn't matter. They are even having sex in the open. Something has to be done about this. Instead of worrying about a bus station that isn't even in Franklin Township, how about worrying about the residents of Franklin Township? Would you stand for this going on in your neighborhood? This issue needs to be addressed immediately for the safety of the residents of Broadlawn Addition. Thank you. Like I said, it was from Robin C. Thanks, Mike, for letting me borrow that. The reason why I had to borrow Mike's is I'd already forwarded this on to the chief to look at and to direct his officers. And I believe if you listen back at this meeting, Robin C., that you will see that we had addressed this. Mike addressed Broadlawn, I have addressed Broadlawn to the chief today, and I believe that covers your questions.
When we are taking, someone comes to the podium and speaks, they give the full name and
Mhm.
address. Are we not to do the same when we're?
I would like it, yes, full
Because
name and address.
We have no clue.
Yeah. I agree, John.
Okay.
Where we can make a motion that we won't read them unless it's full name and address, if you would like, sir.
Be it resolved by the Board of Trustees, Franklin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, that the board, recognizes the same protocol in a meeting as one that would be emailed in for questioning. If there's no further question, I'd ask for a second.
I'll second.
James?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay.
We won't need to
Jan,
start, we won't
please.
need to start the clock for Jan.
No, I got it in case you need it.
Once again, every week I'd just like to thank the fire department, police department, and our road department for doing the best they can in the situation we got.
Great people.
But of course, there's wonderful Steve Mazer, who listens to everything and takes the fun. But I would like to say something about National Night Out.
Uh-huh.
Since it's Franklin Township, it's over at my church where I go, I would like to see everybody support it. I mean, that means all you guys too, cause that shows the people, plus the things that Mike has brought up that he wants to do, it can quote unquote maybe be an advertisement for what's coming up in September, October, November.
You should have started the clock.
Shut up.
Here, do you need this, Jan?
No, I'll take off my crock. But it's just to show the people that it's a joint effort for everybody. And I mean, I'll help cook. I'll throw a burger at somebody when they walk by.
Anything else?
No, but thank you.
We're not pulling out of it, we're just scaling back from it to save money. Mike, you have anything else? John, you have anything else?
I do not.
Meeting's adjourned.
Yes, because I've got a lot